Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Lachlan, and in today's video I want to talk a little bit about budgeting. And before you click away from this video, this won't be one of those videos where some guy shows you his really elaborate spreadsheet and how to track your income cent by cent. I'm going to be showing you a really quick and easy way that you can budget so that you can spend, save, and invest your money really wisely as a student or young person. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when I've talked to people who absolutely hate budgeting, and I'm talking about they have a burning hate for budgeting, they think it's stupid, it doesn't help them at all. The main reasons for this is usually because one, it's overcomplicated and it doesn't actually make sense in their brain why they would need to budget. And the second one, it's not quick and it's not easy for them, and it overcomplicates and restricts their spending. It almost makes them feel trapped inside their budget and they can't do anything. So my attempt today is to actually show you a budget that I actually use myself personally that is really super easy to understand, and it won't restrict you and the lifestyle that you want with your spending. And I'm actually going to leave a link in the description for that budget that I'm going to be referencing and showing you today. Just click on that, it'll take you to the Google Sheet and it'll all be there ready for you to follow along with today. But before we jump into that, I just want to get into the main premise of what budgeting actually is and what it's actually meant to achieve. The main purpose behind budgeting is to basically map out where your money is actually going. So your budget could actually show you where your expenses are going, so things like bills and groceries. It could be your spending, which could be things to buy clothes or things to buy food out with your friends. Or it could even be your savings, like the things that you're trying to buy a house with, the money that you're trying to put towards a house or a car, or those long-term saving goals that often take a long time to build up. So to keep this really simple and easy, think of a budget as a map for your money, something that shows you where your money is going. So how do we actually create a budget that is easy to understand and doesn't actually restrict our lifestyles as students and young people when we really want to get out and do lots of their things with our friends and family? Well, as I said earlier, there's a simple budget template down in the description that you can actually download and grab, and I'm going to go through this today. But you can definitely alter my budget, you can definitely make changes to it to suit your own needs, because everyone's different. Not everyone's going to want to use the same budget that I do, so make sure if you need to, you alter that or change it up or make your own. So to start actually putting this budget together, the first thing that I would do is to write down all your reoccurring expenses. So these are the expenses that we know are going to be reoccurring and happening on a regular basis. They could be weekly or monthly or just on some type of regular basis. So these things could include utilities such as water or electricity. They could include things like groceries when you're buying your food from the supermarket, or they could even include like your Netflix subscription, any subscription services you might have like Netflix, Disney Plus, Adobe, things like this that are reoccurring and are somewhat essential to your life. Netflix is essential to all of us young people, I know.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
And all of these things are the things that you consistently need to have to be able to survive here in the Western world. So just write down all of those things, and then next to it just write what the cost of that item is. So for instance, your electricity bill for a month could be $120 per month, but your groceries could be $100 per week. Write down what is specific to you. And writing this down is going to help us to know how much money we need to allocate to our expenses for each month on average. And on that handy little spreadsheet down below, there is a box off to the side called expenses where it has where you can write what the expense is, how much it costs, and when that date is due. And that'll help you be able to add up what the average cost of your expenses are per month or per week. So now that we have our expenses written down and we know what the average cost of our expenses per month or per week are, we can actually allocate a percentage of our income to cover those expenses. Now your expenses aren't going to look the same as mine. We're all different. We all have different expenses. So you may need to allocate more or less of a percentage of your income to be able to actually cover your expenses. For example, let's say that my expenses per week are about $200. And I also get paid weekly and I get about $1,000 per week. That would mean that my expenses take up about 20% of my income each week. But so I can be conservative, and in case any unforeseen expenses arise out of nowhere, I would want to allocate an extra 5 or 10% to that amount, that 20%, for those unforeseen expenses. An unforeseen expense, for example, last week I heard some really weird noises in my car and I had to take it to the mechanic to be able to get fixed. But because I had allocated a little bit of money on top, I wasn't actually digging into my savings or spending money to be able to cover that expense of my car being broken down. And if you're not sure how to work out what percentage of your income your expenses take up, I'll leave another link down in the description to a percentage calculator where you can work out how much money your expenses are taking out of your income per week on average. And once you've worked that out, on the spreadsheet, you can actually change the percentage of your income you need for the expenses by clicking here and changing the decimal place to match the percentage you need. So if the number was 30% for you, change the number to 0.3, or if it was 45%, change the number to 0.45. It's that simple. So now that we have our expenses covered in our budget, we can actually move on to our savings and also our spending money. Now for spending money personally, a good target to stay under is actually 10% of your weekly income, as this will actually maximize your saving and allow you to get to those really long-term saving goals a lot quicker because you're minimizing your spending and maximizing your saving. But if you feel you need more spending money, if you're more of a spender, I know I used to be a lot like that, you can allocate more of your income to that to be able to match your needs. Again, this budget is very, very flexible. But it would be my suggestion that you would keep it at a max of 10% or lower, because this will allow you to save quicker, obviously. Speaking of savings, you can actually go ahead and allocate the rest of your money, so whatever percentage of your income you've got left over, straight into those savings. So if we continue on with our example here, if my expenses cost 30% of my income and I've got 10% spending money, that means that I've got 40% there and I've got 60% of my income left over that I can automatically just put into my savings. Which is actually really, really good, because if we can actually save more than we spend each week on expenses and also spending money, it will mean that we'll have more money actually coming into us than it is going out, which is really, really good if you want to save for those long-term goals such as a house or even a new car, because it'll allow you to get there a lot quicker and money won't be going out so much, it'll actually be coming into you more. So now that we have a map for our money, we can actually come back each and every week and input our income no matter what it's actually changing to. The spreadsheet will automatically calculate how much money each segment of your budget will get, and you can automatically allocate those in your bank accounts to be able to pay those daily expenses, use your spending money, and save for those long-term goals. And it's super quick and easy. Just once you get paid, you type in the amount you got paid and boom, it's all there for you. It really is simple and easy, and it fixes those two problems that we talked about at the start, which was that budgets are overcomplicated. I think you've seen that this budget is really super easy to understand. It splits it up into 3 categories that I think anyone can understand. But also know this budget is super, super flexible, because we all have those things in life that come out of nowhere and really are unforeseen. Like, I don't know, like a global pandemic where the world shuts down and all the economies suffer. COVID-19! And obviously in those times we can see increased expenses, or we receive less income and we need to save more. Especially if you're a student or young person working a casual job or part-time job, because often you don't know what your pay is each week. This budget is really super helpful because you can change what percentage of your income will get allocated to those 3 categories. But do your best to try and stick to those amounts that you set from the start, but also know there are seasons in life where these things can change, and that is okay too. So how easy is that? I really encourage you to try budgeting and see how you go with it. I've tried to make this budget as super simple as possible, but if it doesn't make sense to you or you've got a question about it, make sure you leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to help you with that. But make sure you download the spreadsheet if you want it, and seriously try budgeting. I promise it'll help you. It'll take away a lot of the worries about money. It'll give you a really easy plan, and if you're one of those people that is very visual, it's helpful with that as well. So seriously, make sure you try it. Set yourself a challenge and just do it, because I promise it'll help you with managing your money. But anyway guys, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about budgeting. If you did, make sure you leave a like. It would help me out a ton if you could do that. If you want to see some more content like this in the future, make sure you subscribe with the bell down below. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See ya.